Why do bad things happen to good people? It's an age-old question. We always wonder, did I deserve this? Is it my fault? When an unfavorable circumstances hit, we tend to wonder, well, what did I do wrong? Is it just luck of the draw? Or is God punishing me for an unknown sin? So many of these questions rage in the mind of humanity. It has for ages, and yet, what if we have answers to so many of these questions so painfully wrong? What if God's glory is greater than our comfort levels? What if there's more to the story? In today's episode, in our week of miracles, we turn to a familiar miracle as Jesus heals a blind man. But there's maybe an unfamiliar backstory and one that helps every single one of us to remember life is ultimately about God's glory, and He can use even painful moments for redemption and helping us to see Him more clearly and also helping others. So the first lesson, the first tidbit of today is suffering is not always equated to sin. It's not always a one-for-one. See, there were people who asked Jesus when they saw a man who had been born blind. He had been blind for almost 30 years. So he has suffered. There's no doubt he has had difficult circumstances. And they asked Jesus, well, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he's been born blind? And Jesus responds, this isn't about sin. He says, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. Don't always jump to assume that it's somebody's sin. Yes, there are consequences and ramifications for sin, but I think that we actually harm people when we jump to the conclusion that, well, it must be because they did something terrible and God's punishing them. What if God's working out His glory? What if God is going to do something awesome? What if God has a bigger story than the small glimpse that we're seeing right now? And then we get a glimpse into Jesus' identity. Yes, we've been talking about this blind man, and that was what the original question was brought up about, who sinned, him or his parents. But Jesus turns it towards Himself and says, I am the light of the world. And I think that Jesus uses this moment to speak not only to this individual man's blindness, but to our own. Because we're all blind in different ways, and we need the light and the life of Christ to show us how to actually see the world, see Him, and see everything in right perspective. Now, today's reading says that the parents of this man who had been born blind, they were fearful. They didn't want to associate with their son. They didn't want to associate with Jesus. They basically said, he's of age, talk to him. We don't want to be a part of this. It's kind of sad because you can see them withdrawing from everything that Jesus was doing when they had an opportunity to get closer. It was within their proximity, yet they went the other way. Now, in this man's blindness, I am sure that it was painful, that there was increased suffering in his life, but look at how Jesus interacted with him, and his life was used to glorify God. In the end, it was through his blindness that this man came to know Jesus. And in the end, we actually have this account, and many people have been blessed through his life. Even now, we're still reading it in the Word. Yes, our human eyes and our human hearts grieve. We mourn. No one wants to go through pain and suffering. I'm not advocating for, let's just all suffer. Let's all be martyrs. Let's all make sure that life is hard so that God can be most glorified. No, but He can work through our trials. He can work through the hard places. In all of it, my hope and my goal would be that we would see Jesus as He truly is. He is the light of the world. And it's that light that can help give us correct perspective on all of our situations and circumstances. May our lives, even in the pain, even in the discomfort, be an area that Jesus has access to. And may He ultimately glorify Himself and bring us closer to Him through even the dark times.